Ahoy, mateys! Ever been on a boat and heard someone yell, hard to port, or starboard side, and thought, why not just say left and right like a normal person? Well, buckle up, or batten down the hatches, because today, we're setting sail into the world of nautical directions and figuring out why sailors had to make everything extra complicated. Spoiler alert, it actually makes a lot of sense. Imagine you're on a ship. The captain shouts, turn left, but wait, who's left? You're left, the captain's left, the seagull's left. On a busy ship with a crew running around, left and right can change depending on where you're standing. So, sailors needed a system that never changed no matter where you were facing, and so port and starboard were born. Back in the day, we're talking Viking era, before Wi-Fi and snack bars on cruises, ships were quite different from what we see today. Ships didn't have steering wheels like modern vessels. Instead, they had a giant steering oar on the right-hand side of the boat, which was crucial for navigation. Since most people are right-handed, it made sense to steer from the right. This was the most practical and efficient way to control the ship. And what do you call the side with the steering oar? Starboard. This term has been used for centuries. It comes from the Old English words steor, meaning steer, and board, meaning side of the boat. These words combine to form the term we use today. So, starboard literally means steering side. Pretty logical, right? This terminology has stood the test of time and is still in use. Okay, so we've got the right side covered, literally, but what about the left? Why is it called port? Well, in the good old days, if the steering oar was on the right, you couldn't dock the ship on that side without breaking it. The steering oar would get in the way. So, ships always docked on the left side, which used to be called larboard. Yes, larboard. It was a common term back then, because apparently, they weren't content with one weird word. Sailors had a quirky sense of humor.
Hard to starboard.
Did you say larboard or starboard? The confusion was real.
It was hard to tell the difference in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, turns out larboard sounded way too much like starboard, especially in stressful situations. And when you're yelling orders over crashing waves, it was a recipe for disaster. Wind and seagulls that refused to pay rent added to the chaos. So, in the 1840s they officially changed it to port, because that was the side where ships loaded and unloaded cargo in port. It made things much clearer and safer for everyone involved. So, to recap, starboard is the right side of the ship, which is crucial for navigation, where the steering oar used to be. Port is the left side of the ship, a term derived from the side where ships traditionally docked. We don't use larboard anymore because it sounded too similar to starboard. This similarity made sailors very confused and probably caused some shipwrecks. And the best part? Port and starboard never change no matter which way you're facing on the boat. Unlike left and right, which flip depending on your perspective, port and starboard remain constant. Port and starboard are always the same, providing a reliable reference for sailors. This consistency makes navigation much easier and safer. And that, my friends, is why sailors don't just go left or turn right like the rest of us. They rely on these age-old terms to ensure clarity and safety on the high seas. Struggling to remember which is which? Here's a life hack. Port and left both have 4 letters. Boom! Now you'll never forget, unless you forget how to count, in which case, I can't help you. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next voyage into weird and wonderful facts. Until next time, may your compass be true, your seas be calm, and may you never accidentally mistake starboard for larboard.